My name is Nick Levis. I am with 911Truth.org. I am here at the hearings in Washington, D.C., the last hearings of the Kane Commission, where, yes, at some point I could not help myself, and I did call out my question.
Brief questions. Then I know the general has to leave. Commissioner
Ask
Gorelick.
about the war games that were planned for 9/11.
Commissioner Gorelick.
About the 9/11 war games.
Could you please be quiet? We have only a few minutes with General Myers, and I'd like to ask a question. General Myers,
About the war games. I'd like to know.
I'm sorry.
September 11th, 2001, the U.S. military was conducting semi-annual exercises, large-scale war games involving most of the Air Force, apparently, and one of the scenarios they were playing out on the day was of multiple hijackings of commercial airliners in domestic airspace. That's something you almost have to say twice to really hear it properly. Multiple hijackings of domestic airliners, of commercial airliners. We know this from Aviation Week. We know this from statements by the military themselves.
Actually refer to Vigilant Guardian involving...
Right, Vigilant Guardian, one of the scenarios that Vigilant Guardian was testing out, Vigilant Guardian was the semi-annual NORAD exercise. They were also running Northern Vigilance on the same day. One of the scenarios Vigilant Guardian was testing out was of response to hijackings. More recently, we've learned, and we also know that whenever the military personnel would hear that there were real hijackings underway, their first question would always be, is this part of the exercise?
Hi, Boston Center, Team U. We have a problem here. We have a hijacked aircraft headed towards New York, and we need you guys we need someone to scramble some F-16s or something up there to help us out.
Is this real world or exercise?
No, this is not an exercise, not a test.
Okay, this is New York Center. We're watching the airplane. I also had conversation with American Airlines, and they've told us that they believe that one of their stewardesses was stabbed and that there are people in the cockpit that have control of the aircraft, and that's all the information they have right now.
Radar data show the Otis fighters were airborne at 8:53. Lacking a target, they were vectored toward military-controlled airspace off the Long Island coast.
They're actually saying that this helped them. This actually helped their response. That's their claim. They had a great response.
General Everhart, a question about our training posture on the day of 9/11. On page 5 of our staff statement, the FAA says at 8:38 in the morning, "Hi, Boston Center, TMU, we have a problem here. We have a hijacked aircraft headed towards New York, and we need you guys we need someone to scramble some F-16s or something up there. Help us out." NEAD says, "Is this real world or an exercise?" My question is, you were postured for an exercise against the former Soviet Union. Did that help or hurt? Did that help in terms of were more people prepared? Did you have more people ready? Were more fighters fueled with more fuel? Or did this hurt in terms of people thinking, no, there's no possibility that this is real world. We're engaged in an exercise and delay things? Or did it have both impacts?
Sir, my belief is that it helped. Because of the manning, because of the focus, because the crews, they have to be airborne in 15 minutes, and that morning, because of the exercise, they were airborne in 6 or 8 seconds.
Well, that's what we have recorded. I just wondered if there was more of that down the line.
No, it became painfully clear, Commissioner, that this was not an exercise.
You know, I'm wondering why didn't they just have the standard response like they did on 67 other occasions in the year prior to September 11th when an aircraft went off course, they scrambled fighter jets to reconnoiter. It's a normal response, and that question was not posed today. Today, they were asking about war games of the past. Did you ever war game this scenario? Did you ever war game this scenario? Well, yes, they were war gaming this scenario on September 11th itself, and it may have confused the air defense response. It's a legitimate question to ask, and when they're not asking that question, then what are they doing? They're engaging in cover-up. They're hiding something. Another war game on September 11th involved the scenario of an errant plane crashing into the headquarters of the National Reconnaissance Office in Washington. Okay, so you've got all the elements of the September 11th plot are actually being rehearsed on September 11th, and yet they're claiming, oh, this was all unprecedented, we could have never guessed in advance. And the Commission isn't asking these questions, which is why at some point I felt compelled to yell out, why don't you ask about the war games on September 11th?